So the Cocaine Bear movie came out, horrifying, right? Horrifying.
We have to do this.
A cocaine bear.
I didn't see it yet.
But in Colombia, okay, a descendant of one of Pablo Escobar's quote unquote cocaine hippos escaped and got hit by an SUV.
Hold on. Start.
Yeah. No. I know it's a lot to digest.
Hold on.
All right, it's a lot to digest.
Just go back a little ways.
Yeah. So apparently, Pablo Escobar, because we know he just had oodles of money, had hippos. Okay, like cocaine hippos.
Like the animal.
The animal.
The hippopotamus.
And I don't think a lot of people realize, like, we know grizzly bears, horrifying, right? Anacondas, scare the hell out of me. Can't believe Ice Cube got out of
snakes.
it. But there is no more dangerous animal than a hippo. Okay?
Is that a fact?
I believe that hippo is the most dangerous animal in the world.
A hippo than a full-grown grizzly.
Oh, you're out of your mind. I'd rather fight 10 cocaine bears than be in the water with a coked-out hippo. Okay. Are you nuts?
Hold on. When you say cocaine hippo,
being in the water is different. Okay, I'm saying, like, if you had to choose right now on land, grizzly or hippo.
You know how fast hippos are? Like,
I thought hippos were nice and friendly.
No.
I don't. Huh?
No, this ain't.
I don't think they'd make my top 10.
Yeah, this ain't. They don't let you sit there and throw pearls around while they eat them while you hit them. Like, that's not.
That's not what.
No, that's not. I believe
What
hippos
do you mean
are the
cocaine hippo?
Either it means one of two things. All right. One, the hippos were on cocaine, which I don't even know how you do that. Or second, they acquired the hippos through the money they got with the drugs, which is what I believe happened. But either way, can you imagine if you had to pick between a cocaine bear or a cocaine hippo, fight to the death, and you're in their territory? So for the bear, it'd be the woods, okay, or forest, okay, and the hippo, the water. I'm gonna try and get away from the bear every time.
I don't know, man.
I'm not fighting a bear.
Yeah, I don't want to fight.
I'm not fighting
I didn't get in this situation by choice.
You can reason with it.
I think so too.
You can reason with the hippo.
Did you say hippo got hit by an SUV?
Anthropomorphic hippos on the cartoons, they seem like you can reason with.
So a hippo got hit by an SUV.
Yes.
Was it driving the car, or did it actually get hit?
They didn't go into that much detail.
Okay.
I hope for all of us that it wasn't driving the car.
That is definitely.
If you have a hippo that's on cocaine driving a car, we've got massive problems. Men and women's sports, we can put that to the side. We got
from Pablo Escobar. Talk about hippo privilege, you know?
Yeah, no, that's a great life.
Okay, hold on. Steven, you're kidding, right?
What?
What happened? In the chat already?
Stephen Moore has donated $500.
Are you serious?
Chill out, bro.
Steven, for shizzle?
Steven, chill out, dude.
500?
Are you kidding?
All right, let's shut it down. Great job, guys.
Wow,
great job.
that's a day.
Ben Shapiro in the Daily Wire. Great job, everybody.
Steve. That's a
What
day,
a great
guys.
show today. All right, so we're just going to name this show Stephen Moore.
Steve, I mean, we got to put you on top of everything.
This is Steven's episode.
Here, let's bring a chair in.
Yeah, can we change the title?
That's a great way to start. Texas head coach Steve Sarkisian shows Nick Saban some love, like we're going to show Stephen Moore after that dono. The Chicago Bulls erase a 19-point deficit to beat the Raptors. And Shaq said Angel Reese is the best LSU athlete ever. Right. I'm Jake Crane, and welcome to Crane & Company. Steve Sarkisian recently said on the Pivot podcast that Nick Saban saved his career by offering him an analyst role at Alabama after Sark had gotten fired at USC and then had to go to rehab. Now, many will say this was just a smart move by Saban because he could get an incredible football mind for a cheap price and Saban would have all the leverage. And you know what? You wouldn't be wrong, but you are missing the bigger picture. This gesture is just a microcosm of one of the main reasons why Saban has been so successful. He's a people person. Now, most only know Nick Saban through press conference rants, headlines, or on-the-field antics. And they believe he's just a robot that never stops, and while his drive is better than Max Verstappen's, if you talk to anyone that actually knows this man, or if you have a conversation with any of his players, current or former, they will tell you he really does care about people, especially them. He didn't just bulldoze his way to the top, because if you've ever been in it, you know there are many coaches that are hard asses, and some of them couldn't win an inter-squad game. But it's his ability to connect with people and let them truly know he has their best interests at heart and their back that is ultimately his best weapon. He actually has a really good sense of humor. And to me, it's one reason why he's able to continually recruit so well, because he offers players the best resources to become a professional at what they love most, but cares about you enough to push you further than you can push yourself and not just coddle you because of your talent. Now, I've never interviewed Nick Saban, and I'm sure I will one day. My first question, though, wouldn't be about Rip Liz match coverage or some spat with another coach in the SEC West. I would ask him what his greatest accomplishment in life has been so far. And I'd be willing to bet his answer would have nothing to do with the game of football. So while some may look at Nick Saban taking on Sark as a smart business move, I actually see it as a smart business plan. I'm going to bring in my co-host, David Cohn, former Michigan quarterback, former Western State, Colorado wide receiver, guy who finished second in the dodgeball tournament on the cruise he went on. He let us know, which I do want to tell you, Blaine, if you go on a cruise again or go on a vacation, please don't embarrass us again by finishing.
Draw attention to yourself. Put on your own terms.
That's exactly
Won the basketball. Oh. But then Josie blew it. Got 1v2'd versus a 7-year-old Indian woman. We almost threw him off the boat.
All right, we're going to have to hear that.
Yeah, no, like you've got to be expelled from the boat after that. And we'll get to that. Because we all, that and the Helsinki episode of 1916, I think we all remember that.
Ways back.
But David, again, seeing Saban on TV, seeing the way that Nick Saban gets covered, and some of it is deserved, you would think he really is just a cranky old man that all he cares about is winning, and people are just disposable to him as long as it helps meet his ultimate goal. But in reality, if you know anything about the way he operates, he doesn't care what people that are really watching his press conferences think, because his players, the people in that organization, he asks a lot from them. He does. But to me, that's a compliment. If you're asking a lot from me, that means you believe that I can handle a lot. Or you're trying to find out if I can handle a lot and you think I have the potential to do it. But it's the sense of humor in the living room, doing the cha-cha slide and things like that. And anybody in his circle or in that building understands this. But on the outside, you don't really get to see that. So I think a lot of people have a common misconception. He didn't have to go get Sark.
That's true.
They'd have been great on offense without Sark, because they have incredible players and incredible coaching staff. But when you look at the amount of lives that Nick Saban has changed, and not just taking guys from tough socioeconomic situations and helping them get to a place where they can become millionaires, they did the work, and I'm sure he'd tell you that. But giving somebody the structure and the blueprint and not letting them get away with stuff just because they're talented, I think, to me, Nick Saban may be the most underrated people person that we have in sports.
Wow, there you go. I thought you made a lot of good points in your open there. Now, one of the juiciest storylines from the last season of college football was the drama between Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban. I know that everyone, jumps on that, and it's exciting to follow, that sort of drama that gets created. But I appreciate this a whole lot more when you have Steve Sarkisian coming out and opening up and saying, "Man, Nick Saban saved me in my career. I was about to go to television," and we have the clip here that we can play of Steve Sarkisian's comments on Nick Saban. But I really just appreciate this a whole lot more. It shows you that, for all of the bad things that can come from sports these days or collegiate athletics, that there are still relationships that can be created like this. Now, make no mistake, Nick Saban did not hire Steve Sarkisian to run his offense out of the goodness of his heart. Right.
Only.
Nick Saban did not hire Steve Sarkisian to give him a second chance on life, right? He thought this guy could be the person who helped them win championships. That's the main goal right there. But like you said, Nick Saban could go hire anyone in the world to run his offense. Along the way, he recognized that he could make a difference in this guy's life and get a great football coach back on track in his personal and his professional life. And I think, like, is Nick Saban, we talk about it a lot, you were talking about it as well, is Nick Saban a nice guy? I don't know, I haven't met him. He's probably not a nice guy. But we have to understand there's a difference between being a nice person and a good person, right? And I think that this shows you what kind of relationships Coach Saban has been able to create, not just in Tuscaloosa, but around the college football world.
Definitely, and I think you have to have some semblance of balance, like you mentioned there, to be able to run a program the way that he does, demand the respect that he does, but also be able to get that respect back. Because again, great players want to be coached hard.
Yes.
The great ones want to be coached hard. But coaching hard doesn't just mean you yell. Coaching hard doesn't just mean you're always asking. Coaching somebody hard is telling them the truth. Coaching somebody hard is listening to them and actually telling them what you think, not what they want to hear. Hey, you need to lose weight. You're too fat right now to go to the NFL and make the money that you could possibly make. You need to do this, or hey, you're hanging around with the wrong people. It's just like the Brandon Miller situation with the difference between Nate Oates and Nick Saban. What did Nate Oates say? He made excuses for it. Now, again, you can be on either side of the Brandon Miller situation. Doesn't matter. My point is, Nick Saban came out and said, you control your behavior and who you hang out with. And I guarantee you, this is not the first time we've really heard it this way in public, but I'm sure that's been echoed a million times over. And people are going to make mistakes in the football program. That's what happens when you have 125 guys you're responsible for that are 18 to 22 years old. It's a little bit different than having 13 guys. So, Blaine, when I look at this, there's so many elements that we don't get to see about how we build these guys up on this huge pedestal. And Nick Saban's, in my opinion, the greatest college football coach of all time.
I would agree.
But there's a lot of different ingredients that go in the mix to get a result like this.
Well, one, I believe Nick believes in positivity bullying.
He does. I believe he's a positivity bullying guy.
As you can see, as an example, it works. And two, he's basically Tom Baker from Cheaper by the Dozen. Right? Half the college coaches are the kids that he raised. Basically, let's look at this. Kirby Smart.
Yes.
Lane Kiffin.
Yes.
Mel Tucker.
Yes.
Steve Sarkisian.
Yes.
Butch Jones.
Yes.
Jim McElwain.
Yes.
Mark D'Antonio. Billy Napier. He's basically Coach Steve.
Jimbo Fisher.
Loxley.
I'm pretty sure Jason Garrett. Nick
Newt
Saban.
Rodney.
People don't realize how much Nick Saban has done for the game of football. Not only through his accomplishments, but what he's surrounded with the coaches that came up behind him. Nick is a one-on-one.
Yep.
Right? There will never be another Nick Saban. There'll never be another Bear Bryant, in my opinion. Different coaches, a lot of success, but people need to realize being nice doesn't get you as far. One of his great sayings, right? If you want to be nice all the time, do what?
Sell ice cream.
Sell ice cream. But people need to realize what Nick has not only done for the University of Alabama, but done for the game of football.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have the clip? Clip
let's-
of what Steve Sarkisian said about Coach Saban?
Let's go and play it.
In 2015, as I came out of that and had gotten fired at USC, gone to recovery, started working on me personally, and then coming out of that, not being able to get a job, somewhere in there, somebody's got an extended olive branch to you. Mm-hmm. And in 2016, I was ready to go do TV. I couldn't get an interview for a job, and Nick Saban saved my career. Wow. And he offered me an analyst job, and I was willing to do it for free. But he said, I got to pay you $30,000 so that you can get benefits. And I said, okay, I'll do that. I'm forever indebted to him because at that time, somebody in life has got to give all of us a second chance, right? And it totally changed my perspective. It changed my perspective on how I coach, how I deal with our players, because everybody's going through stuff, right? Everybody's got stuff. Whatever your stuff is, you just try to get through it. And if I can be that guy that can extend that olive branch to our players as we go through this journey, I always lean back to that time because here's the greatest coach of all time in our era, right? And for whatever reason, he saw something in me to give me a chance, to give me a shot.
Wow.
Just spitting facts.
Wow.
Man. Yeah, just spitting facts.
And we're going to get Texas-Alabama round 2.
How about that? It was a hell of a game last year. Well, I'm about to extend an olive branch to you guys. Grilling season is back, baby. And I, for one, am super jacked and tan about it. Threw a ribeye on the grill the other day. It's starting to get warmer outside. I'll just go walk around outside, just enjoy it for a little bit after this cold spell that we had right before this. But our friends at Cinch, all right, if you deal with a propane tank for anything, we have got the play for you. They are a propane tank delivery service. It's contactless delivery if you want. They deliver on your schedule. They don't require any long-term commitment or subscription. You don't have to wait around, and you can track the order on the Cinch app. All right, so you need to go online to cinch.com, that's CYNCH.com, or download their app to order, because new customers can get their first tank exchange for just $10 with promo code BOOSTER. That's BOOSTER. So go to cinch.com, that's CYNCH.com, or download the Cinch app. Use our promo code BOOSTER to get your first tank exchange for just $10. Cinch.com, promo code BOOSTER. It's a limited time offer, and you must live within a Cinch service area to redeem it. So go check out cinch.com/offer for details. Use that promo code BOOSTER. Cone, you are an absolute witch, wizard, and sorcerer on the
Very
big
nice
green egg.
Thank you.
All right? I do know, though, when we use propane, all right, you've used Cinch multiple times.
Yes.
Quick review. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, like I said, they bring it right to your front door.
Yep.
Like, that's all you need to know.
Bringing you
Just
the
sitting
noise.
right there, I had to take a picture of it. I couldn't believe my eyes. So that's all I needed to know. That was when we did the Low Country Boil. We also have the steamed oysters coming up, which I think is great. And then we have Good Ranchers back as well. So you're going to take the meat. We're really completing the trifecta.
It's coming full circle.
I'm basically,
Good Ranchers meat with the Cinch tank. Put it on the.
I'm trying to build the perfect backyard off our sponsorship.
I know.
Like, yeah, I do that while I'm putting Genucel skincare all over my face as well, making myself look better. All right, let's get to the Booster Club.
All right, let's go ahead. And Stephen Moore, $500 donation, says, let's have a great day.
Hey, let's have a great. I've already had a great day.
Moore.
It's 6:46, and I've already had a great day.
All right, let's go to Feeling Dangerous, 113 with a $10 donation. You are feeling dangerous. He says, I'm not sure if you guys have followed the bankruptcy of Bally Sports.
Yes.
As a fan of the team with a low payroll and a cheap owner, this makes me very nervous.
Oh, well, guess what? Boy. Hey, great decisions, fellas.
Yeah.
How about that? High fives all around.
Yeah, that's
look, again, the way they did it, not going to work. It seemed like just something, we have got to find a way to do this better. Like when it comes to Major League Baseball and the NHL. Trying to watch a game in Major League Baseball right now is trying to, I don't know, sneak a weed pen into Russia.
I can't watch the Braves. I can't.
No, I
get
can't
the
either.
Braves.
If they're not on
on my
ESPN,
television.
It's amazing. Yeah, well, you can watch the Yankees because they're
Yeah.
on every channel on TV. It's like the one
right
channel
there.
in North Korea that they just keep playing.
Let's go to Mad Veg, hashtag Ask Crane & Company. Would you rather coach under Nick Saban or the man who eats cheeseburgers, Andy Reid? Both have a giant coaching tree.
I think they both go about it very different ways, which shows you can win in different ways. I think the answer to that is, would you rather coach in college or the NFL? I would rather coach in college. I love the recruiting aspect. I was raised in college football. Love the NFL as well. All right, don't panic, but I would much rather coach in college.
I would love to coach for Andy Reid. That'd be a lot of fun. What would I need in my life? I'd probably need to coach for
Nick Saban to be able to coach for Andy
Yeah,
Reid.
exactly. You need to go through that.
Yeah, yes.
All right, Matty Ice, 1994, also known as Nighthawk. I just asked my coworker the poll question. He said an orca could kill any of these animals. I still say hippo is the most dangerous animal on land and water.
Okay.
So the poll is,
Orca.
I made the poll, would you rather fight? All right, a cocaine hippo, a cocaine bear, or a cocaine lion?
A cocaine lion?
Cocaine lion.
God, I thought that was the nickname for Gavin Newsom.
Hey, orcas don't mess around though.
Orcas are huge. Like, are we talking about a megalodon would beat an orca?
No,
We're
this is
gonna
a killer whale.
I know.
Killer whales.
They're massive.
They're smaller than great white sharks.
I just think it's a lot easier to
Killer whales are smaller than great white sharks.
I don't
That's
think so.
No,
Are they
I don't
not?
think that's right,
No.
David. I hope to
Okay.
God
I
that's
think
not
that's
right.
right.
Are they not? Don't they hunt in packs? Isn't that their street?
Well,
Yeah.
if you tie them all
yeah, they
together,
hunt in packs and they're huge.
I'm on
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
God, you need to watch Free Willy, Dave, because if
Free Willy, don't tell me
Orcas
movies
can
I
kill
grew up
great
on. Free.
white.
Yeah, because
You
they
know who
hunt in
Mr.
packs.
Norwal is?
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
he's the last guy to tell Buddy the Elf bye before he
Jeez.
went to find his dad in New York, David.
Let's go to
Goodbye, buddy.
Texas Ed, hashtag Ask Crane & Company. Thoughts on the players that go in the transfer portal to go fishing, but stay when they don't get something better? Sark won't allow it. You go, you're gone.
I like that as a coach, but if you can get away with it as a player, I mean, it's almost a smart business move now. You have the leverage. All right, hey, I'm going to leave, guys. I don't know. It sounds like kind of like what Lamar Jackson thought it was going to be at the beginning. Like, can you imagine if if Caleb Williams was like, yeah, I think I'm going to transfer. I'm just going to be in the portal for a while unless you guys give me $19 million. They would probably find a way to get Caleb Williams $19 million. You think I'm kidding? I will never get mad at somebody for making a smart business move. They allowed this. I said the same thing when they had the debates and Trump said the stuff about the tax loopholes. He's like, y'all made the rules. I'm just taking advantage of them. Like, if I'm not going to get mad at a player for making a smart business decision. Is it great morally, in my opinion? Is it being a team guy? No. But we have put this narrative now into college sports where it's not about the team with NIL. It's not the team. It's about how much money I can make in college before I go to the pros.
And how long can that experiment
It's like Kenny Powers said, it's about me, baby.
I know. And how long can that experiment be run in college football? Still great. Not long.
Now, I don't think long. I think you're going to lose the wholesome aspect.
You get a Ryan
of
Leaf
football.
type coming in wanting all the money in the world, and then they pay him. And all it takes is a couple. It just takes a couple busts, especially when the sponsors are paying.
I agree,
money.
but I have more of a problem with. So let me give you an example. Severe Wheeler leaves Georgia, goes to Kentucky. Plays for Kentucky, didn't really play, a ton last year. Then hops in the transfer portal. Now it looks like he's going back to Georgia. Man, hell no. No, I'm not taking it. They said Auburn's interested in Devin Cambridge again. I know. That's what I said. I hit him with the Kanye gif. Here's my thing.
Different coaching staff, right, at Georgia, right?
I don't care. Coaching staffs come and go. That logo's forever, dog. That logo's forever. That's why you choose a college based on the college, not on the coach. That's what I used to always tell guys in high school. But to me, that's like, hey, you cheated on me, or no, you left me. Then you found out, guess what? Maybe it's not as fun in the jungle as what you thought it was going to be. Now you want to come back home?
That's how it always is.
Now you want to come back in here under this roof?
That happens all the time.
Can we cook you some vegetables?
And it's the best players on every team for all time have always gotten the best perks. Now in college, it happens to be money. I mean, this is how it's always worked.
Yeah,
but you still have to be the leader of the team and show up and play. The rest of the team is going to hold you accountable. I don't care if you're getting $19 million in NIL, or if you're just getting the nicest sports car under the table, or if you're getting the finest steaks. They're going to hold you accountable, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. All right, here we
go to Nev Tink. He says, good coaches run the same program like good fathers. You're going to hate parts, but ultimately they want the best for you and have to push you in the right direction.
Tough love is one of the most pure forms of love, in my opinion. A couple more real quick.
I have an update here on orcas and great whites.
Hit me with it.
All right. First of all, both of these fishes. This is how this starts here. These fishes.
Fishes?
Yeah,
that sounds right.
I read what you put in there.
That sounds right.
Both of these fishes are humongous in size, but overall, orcas are larger than great white sharks. The orca grows 21 to 23 feet. Great white 15 to 20.
So it's not by a ton.
That movie Jaws.
Yeah, it's not
25.
by a ton. Yeah, that movie scarred me as a kid. But I'm going to tell you a movie that's not going to scar you. Our friend Steve Dace, all right, they've released a movie called Nefarious. It's opening on April 14th, so tomorrow. It looks and sounds like another completely... here's the best way I can explain it. Steve is unbelievably smart.
Yes, that's
to me, like everything he does, like is there's a meaning behind it. So you hear the word nefarious and you think it's just a typical horror movie, okay? But it's not. The way it's written, we're going to show you a trailer in a second. It's about a serial killer who's about to be executed, claiming he's a demon. A psychiatrist is called in to see if the man's gone crazy or if he's just faking insanity to get off. The psychiatrist is your standard Ivy League guy, doesn't believe in demons or God or any of that nonsense, but he doesn't quite realize what he's up against. The film is surprising and thought-provoking, something you definitely need to see. Let's play the trailer real quick before we get into rapid fire.
Execution's 11 p.m., but he's trying to convince us he's gone insane.
Therefore incapable of being executed.
Edward?
I'm not Edward. I'm a demon.
Demons aren't a thing.
It's starting to happen. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? I think it's time we tell you what it is that we'd like you to do.
Nefarious. In theaters April 14th. Rated R.
Yeah.
Dropping in theaters,
Good
man.
for Steve.
Yeah, big movie.
It's based off his book, right?
Yes, it's based off his book, yep. And also, he went to the hospital the other day, man, and his wife was tweeting about it, and they were legitimately worried. We're just glad he's okay. I know it was a tough ordeal. We've had Steve on the show multiple times, good friend of the show. Just glad you're all right, man. Congrats on the movie release, and we're excited to get you back on.
I text Steve, I tell him I hope he feels better. He said, thank you, the devil sucks, but God is good.
Very true.
God's got me, dog.
Yep, go blue. Of course he ends with the go blue. God, I love sports. All right, let's get to rapid fire.
Let's do it. All right, boys.
Pew.
Hold on. I have a button for that. Give me a second.
There it is.
Oh, yeah. I do want to say this real quick. Like I said, Nefarious does open nationwide starting April 14th. Go to whoisnefarious.com. That's whoisnefarious.com. Buy your tickets today, whoisnefarious.com. Go check
Love it. All right. NBA play-in games last night. Woo! Zach LaVine scores 39. Chicago Bulls erase a 19-point deficit to beat Toronto. I'd given up on this one.
The fact that he could do that and still be the lead singer of Maroon 5 blows my mind. I watched this game yesterday at Von Elrod's while we were playing trivia. And third quarter, I was like, I know the NBA, it can change in a heartbeat, right? That there's no lead that's safe in the NBA. But the Bulls just flipped the switch.
Yeah.
LaVine flipped the switch. DeMar flipped the switch. Now, the Raptors helped them with the way they shot free throws. I will say that. But I was so impressed by the Bulls just deciding, we're going to win the game. We don't want to go home. Because remember, last night was single elimination. You lose, you're out. Those were the 9-10s playing. They're fighting for the 7-8 seed. So now the Bulls will play the Heat. And the Bulls beat the Heat 3 times this season. They're 3-0 against them. And I believe they beat them twice in Miami. Okay. And if the Heat come out and, no pun intended, get bullied like they did last game where they lost, the Bulls may win this one by 20. Because there's not a better feeling than surviving after a huge comeback win in a playoff format. That can be a spark that lights a wildfire, and they've got the cats to be able to do it. And a cool, quick story from the game, DeMar DeRozan's daughter, he kept her out of school so she could go to the game, and if you saw her during the game, she was going nuts, stuff like that. They asked him if she's going to be there for the next game. He said, no, she's going back to school. She got to miss one day. So it was a heck of a game last night.
Fun to watch. Both these games were fun to watch. I believe they came back by 19. Well, it tells you what we believe in Zach LaVine, that everybody thought he was going to be and had a great year. Like, Zach LaVine's an elite top scorer. Like, he really is. He's been his whole career. It's kind of been wishy-washy lately. But just tell you the depth that the Bulls have. I mean, Patrick Beverley just keeps sneaking and playing games. Like, I mean, you go back to last year with the Timberwolves. I mean, just come back and won that game. You come back and win this game. The Bull-Heat matchup is going to be very interesting because I don't know if Zach LaVine can repeat this type of performance. I really don't. DeMar DeRozan is going to be DeMar DeRozan. He's one of the best when it comes to a three, playing back-to-back from a small forward. DeMar's going to be DeMar. Vucevic, we'll see if he plays again. I'm just worried about who's going to win the down-low battle when it comes to the Bulls and the Heat. I mean, is it going to be Bam or is it going to be Vucevic? I know that. So the Heat are going to run through Jimmy B and Bam Adebayo. But if Zach LaVine puts on this type of performance and he's shooting this well, coming off picks, shooting this well from the outside, the Bulls could be a problem.
Well, we say that. I mean, he was 2 of 7 last night from 3. I mean, he was 13 out of 15 at the free throw line. But outside of 3-pointers, he was 10 for 20. He shot 50%. So you're going to get high volume from LaVine when it comes to shooting. But if he's able to drop a 39-piece with waffle fries, going 2 of 7 from 3, and I'm the Bulls coaching staff, I'm feeling really good about the games where he's clicking because Zach LaVine is an absolute sniper when he gets it going. But seeing a guy turn it on in crunch time, there's just something about it, man. But like you said, Blaine, Vucevic was fantastic last night. I mean, him and DeRozan both played 39 minutes. Vucevic ended up with 14 and 13, also had 4 assists, a block, and a steal. DeRozan ended up with 23, 2 blocks, 3 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 on the offensive side. And how about Alex Caruso? I'm shocked this man's still in the league. Shocked.
AC?
I watched him at Texas A&M. He was a good player, but I didn't look at him and say, NBA guy. Legit NBA. You know what I looked at him and said?
G League.
Coach.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I looked at him and said. Well, I said, coach.
There's no excuse for the Raptors to miss that many free throws.
No, there's not.
Yeah. That just tells you how much it matters. Doesn't matter if it's high school, college, NBA, G League. Hit your free throws, buddy.
And I hate it for Siakam because Siakam played so well.
Van Fleet, too.
I mean, Van Fleet, too. Yeah. But Siakam had 32. He really had it going from everywhere in the first half. I thought the Raptors had kind of put a bow on this one, and Zach LaVine with 39.
Did they relax? Did they? It didn't look like they relaxed. I just don't know
if you can relax in a play-in game.
Basketball's streaky, I get that. But
it is. I just watching it, like, aesthetically, didn't look like they relaxed to me. I'm like, the Bulls just took it.
Some teams just get hot.
Yeah, and speaking about taking it.
Go ahead.
The Pelicans, man.
Well, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Pelicans.
Bye.
They're going home.
Bye. And you know what? You should be. And love our boy T-Bob, everybody down there in New Orleans. Zion Williamson's over here talking about he's just going to come back when he's ready for it. I told y'all not to sign this man. I sat here and begged y'all not to sign this man. You called me crazy. This man, I'm telling you, this guy is Greg Oden 2.0. Y'all supermaxed a guy that isn't even going to play. There's guys in supermax prisons playing more than Zion Williamson's played. Y'all dropped a bag on a guy that is going to get fat and not play. And I said it's going to happen.
You said injuries. That's what you said.
Yes.
You don't sign him because of injury. He's not hurt. He's not hurt.
Then why ain't he playing?
Because he's not mentally ready to play.
Is the mental
That's not a physical injury. You said don't sign him because of physical injuries. This wasn't because Zion came out and doesn't feel like Zion and doesn't want to mess up the team's flow. That wasn't a thing. It was because he couldn't stay healthy.
He can't stay healthy.
So here's what he said.
Mentally or physically.
What he said.
Physically, I'm fine. I'm fine. That's how you start off. Now it's just a matter of when I feel like Zion. I know the atmosphere I'd be in based off the playoff experience. What are you talking about?
You know what?
This is just soft. This is nothing about being hurt. This is like you needing a psychiatrist. This wasn't the reason I said you shouldn't sign him. I never questioned Zion's will to come out and play because he was physically injured. I didn't know he was another make of Ben Simmons.
Well, again, to me, the mental and the physical, especially at a high level of sports, are two. The man's mentally weak. You can be mentally weak and things can hurt more and linger longer and you don't play through pain.
That's a good point.
This man has been given everything and told how great he is his whole life. He's never had to go out there and earn it. They didn't do anything when he was at Duke in the NCAA tournament. I'm telling you, this guy's a phony. Yeah, he can jump up and dunk good. Yeah, he can get hot shooting every now and then. But the man never plays. I would love to live in a world where I could wake up and say, you know what? I just don't feel like going to work today. I don't feel like Jake today. I would find a way to get rid of this guy. You should have traded him to the Knicks to get Julius Randle like I told you to do last year, but you didn't. And now you're stuck with him, which means you're stuck with mediocrity. And the guys I feel bad for are the other players on that roster that have to deal with this clown.
Because they have a complete roster other than that. They have
you could have gotten
so what would
so
you do
much
right now with all the other pieces that you have, understanding that Zion, you don't know if he's going to play again. What would you try and do moving forward for the Pelicans, who could be an elite team?
I mean, it's going to be hard to move him now after this.
Who's taking him?
It's going to be hard to move him now after this because, like, the thing about it, like, the NBA guys and, like, physical injuries, like, I get it. A lot of them sit out for certain reasons. I know it's a long season. We'll get to that. But for stuff like this, for being a head case and being soft as Charmin, like, this is different to me. So if you can move him now for a couple good pieces, then I would do it. But I mean, you just signed the guy for basically to a super max. So I like, you're not gonna be able to move him now. But the thing about it, when Zion plays, phenomenal. Phenomenal. One of the best in the league when he plays, right? And even with these lingering injuries, like, I think Zion had to earn it to a certain extent. I don't think he just coasted his way to being one of the best in the NBA. I don't think it works like
one of the best in the NBA? What are you talking about?
When Zion's on the court, he's one of the best in the NBA. Look at the stats.
Well, okay, well, guess what? If I play 3 games and I'm hot, that's great. Like, that doesn't help me. Like, what Zion does doesn't help me. That's great. That makes it worse. I would rather you just be bad. I'd rather you be Markelle Fultz. I'd rather you forget how to shoot and us just be wrong and judge you wrong than to be talented and never play. And never. This man's about to have Glenn Big Baby Davis is going to have had a better career in the NBA than Zion at the end of the day. Like, that's great. Potential. A lot of people had potential. Tons of people have potential. But it's the people that go out there and live up to it. And I hope I'm wrong, Blaine. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Zion figures it out because he's that talented. Nobody is questioning how talented Zion is. I do question his work ethic. I do question, I think he's been, since high school, when we crowned him this phenomenal, unbelievable, alien, monster from Space Jam type player, all he's been done is given everything and told how great he is, but hasn't really returned the investment. And it's just the truth. Facts don't care about your feelings, man. It's just,
the Pelicans
it is.
had a chance.
And it sucks.
Had a chance to move him.
Because I like the Pels.
I know.
Like, I like that Brandon Ingram. You went and got McCollum.
I know.
You know, you've got some pieces there.
Saying.
And it's sad, man. It really is.
They're going home this season, so we'll see how the rest of the playoffs.
Let's not forget about what the Thunder did either. I don't want this all to be.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
The Thunder, who's the second youngest team in the NBA, who has, I think, 2 maybe first rounders next year. Josh Giddey, the kid Shea Kid Alexander, watching Williams play from Arkansas, playing his rookie year. These kids, you got to remember, who did they draft? the slender man who hadn't played one game this year.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, OKC is going to be a problem. If you want to put your money in a stock, put it in the Thunder the next couple of years.
Man, I like that. That's a good call.
Man, good point. Good point. All right, let's move to Major League Baseball. The Tampa Bay Rays, 12-0, boys, one shy of the Major League record. The 1987 Brewers and the 1982 Braves started 13-0.
Yay.
Rays tonight. I'm taking them again, boys.
What? They're going to win you the month. I mean, they have literally brought you back to start
From
take
the
the lead
depths,
over
from the
Cercia.
nefarious depths.
I mean, this
Talking
is
about
so
nefarious.
impressive. And because we know how many variables there are in baseball, how crazy a baseball game can be. You know, you're always seeing, I see something new, I feel like every at least once a month in Major League Baseball. But it's going to end eventually. But, you know, if you lose tonight and you don't break you tie the record and then have a chance to break it, you still started out 12-1. It's a great situation. And what I think needs to happen is this. I think the Rays need to have a great year, okay? And then I think they need to take that team and do one of two things. Either build a legit stadium in downtown Tampa or come on up here to Nashville, okay? The real question is, and I want to throw this to the chat, I want to throw this to the comments section as well. If Nashville did get a Major League Baseball team, what should their mascot be?
That's a good question. Rays, other than a 1-0 win over Boston 3 games ago,
Rolling kid.
every other victory they've had has been they had a 9-7 win over Boston as
So by
well.
2 or
Other than
more?
that, I mean, 11-0 over the Athletics twice, 9-5, 7-2, 10-6, 6-2, 5-1, 12-2, 4-0.
The pitching staff, everybody look at runs. The pitching staff is, hey, guess what? You're out.
Man, incredible.
It's impressive.
Long season.
Yep, long season.
Yep. While we're on baseball, Ian Anderson, Tommy John surgery for the Braves, out for the season. Travis d'Arnaud, 7-day injured list. Man, how you feeling about the Braves right now?
I mean, look, man. I mean, we're fine when you look at the division. I know it's really, really early in the year, as Blaine just mentioned. I'm so used to the Braves having pitching injuries now that I'm almost numb to it. Like, it's like coffee. Like, is it really giving me a caffeine boost, or is it just a placebo effect and I just need it as part of my routine? Spencer Strider last night was a little bit rocky in the first inning, of course, because I took the Nerfy, gave up 2. That's hilarious. Hit the other Nerfy. But when you look at the division right now, I mean, if we're going to be upset about being 9-4, all right, I'll sign up on that train. I'll be on that train. But looking down the road with Soroka, with
What's
Ian
his
Anderson,
status? What's Soroka's
with
status?
Max Fried, I think he's going to be back this year.
Okay.
My question is, how long is he going to be back? Because that's the
As
deal
a
with
starter,
Max
or are they
Soroka.
going to try and start rolling him in through the bullpen?
I don't know if they're going to try and John Smoltz him yet. I think they're going to try and get maybe one more run at being a starter, because people forget, like, Soroka was a dude.
Yes.
Like a legitimate dude. And you pair him with Strider and Morton when he's on, and the guys that the Braves have. The young guys will come along. They need some time. But again, man, you'd rather, though, I know Ian's done for the year. But outside of that, if you're going to have injuries, I'd rather have them early in a 162-game season than late in a 162-game season. So they're surviving with it right now. It's always great when you're able to play the Reds when you have injuries. So let's just play the Reds the rest of the way.
All right. Last one on MLB. Corey Seager for the Rangers is going to miss at least 4 weeks with a hamstring injury. So we'll keep tracking that.
Yeah, it's tough. The Rangers, though, man, I mean, again, somebody asked yesterday, as a Rangers fan, should I start getting really excited? And my answer is no. Like, there's a lot of time for y'all to blow this, and we all know how the Rangers are doing. I don't think Nolan Ryan's stepping out on that mound anytime soon. But you do got a guy named Jacob deGrom stepping out on that mound, which I'd rather take deGrom.
Yeah. All right, next one here. We have a video of Shaquille O'Neil saying Angel Reese is the best athlete to come out of LSU. Play this. I need to get y'all
rocking the pythons. Look at him.
She's probably the greatest athlete ever to come out of LSU sports. You heard it here first. Man and female.
I love the competitive. I love
Did you
the
hear what I just
competitive
said?
aspect. Male and
Did you hear what I
female.
just said? Male and
The
female.
best?
She's
Yourself included.
Yes, because guess what?
boy.
She delivered. She delivered that package. See, a lot of us got the package, and we still got the package in our truck. She delivered that package. So, it's a lot of names you could throw around, men and women, but she's probably the greatest athlete. Some people's going to exclude it to women athlete. I'm not doing that. She's the greatest athlete to ever come out of this because she got it done. Joe Burrow got it done a couple years ago, but she's way more athletic than he is. So, you heard it here first.
Okay. Here, I think... and Shaq doesn't have to do this. He's in every commercial, so I see him every 30 seconds. But I feel like he just did this to spark this. Because
He doesn't mean that.
No, he doesn't
man.
mean that. You want to know how I know? Because after he said it, he said, wait, did you hear what I just said?
It.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to reiterate it. He knows, and we know, that Angel Reese isn't the best athlete to come out of LSU. Okay, I'd take Simone Augustus over Angel Reese when it comes down to it, if you want to talk some LSU women's basketball for real. But Joe Burrow would beat Angel Reese at any sport they played, including basketball.
Yeah, Odell Beckham's pretty athletic.
Odell Beckham's pretty athletic.
Like, I'm all for gassing up women's sports.
I am too,
I'm all
man,
for it,
but,
especially keeping women in women's sports. But I'm also not delusional.
Yeah.
Well, you picked a bad time to say this, Shaq, with guys legitimately thinking that it's equal with women in sports. I think Angel Reese would tell you she's not the best athlete to ever come out of LSU. Was Shaq trying to be funny here? Like,
No, it felt serious to me, and I had a couple people on Twitter. Why say it? Why reiterate yourself?
I don't know. That's
I think
why
he's
we're
trying to
talking
spark
about it.
controversy.
I love Shaq,
I don't think he
man.
really
I just love Shaq, and the Jimi Hendrix shirt too, and the glasses.
The pythons,
I love
he's
it.
rocking the
you got it
pythons, I
going
get
on,
it.
you know. But if you want to talk about going and getting a package, that Joe Burrow team went and got a package.
Yeah, Jamar Chase is pretty good.
You know, we hadn't even talked about Pistol Pete Maravich.
Yeah,
you
like,
know.
look, look, I'm all for gassing up women's sports, but Shaq, come on, dog.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's not even close.
I don't believe you.
Not even close.
All right, next one. Chase Elliott will return to racing this weekend in Martinsville after he missed the past 6 NASCAR Cup Series races with a broken leg. I think he got on some of those Hooters Daytona wings.
Yes.
And just, a little massage action.
Well, yeah.
He's back.
Yeah, well, they said if you actually get the Hooters wings and you tape them to the injured area, if you get the naked Daytonas, it almost doubles the healing time. Like
That I did not
twice.
know.
Yep, it's
That I
really
did
easy.
not
Like I had a hurt ankle the other day. Stopped by Hooters, used that VIP card, just strapped a couple flats to it. Oh, looks like I just hopped out the bed like I
the
was.
swelling was down.
Way
Hooters
down.
card back.
Way down.
Swelling was down.
What happened?
He just got my Hooters card. That hadn't seen like 2 weeks.
Wow.
Smart woman.
Yeah.
Wow, smart. All right, last one. Boston Bruins continue to break records.
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah.
64 wins. They had already broken that record. They broke the points record, 133 points. I think their final game is tonight. They could go for 65 total wins. Wow. I mean, are they just going to just roll right
If they win the
playoffs?
Stanley Cup, it's the greatest season ever in hockey.
Yep.
It is. I'm
It
telling
has
you, I'm
to
wrong.
be.
Went
If
out
they win
the
the
lie.
Stanley Cup.
Now, as we've said multiple times, typically when you have a record-breaking regular season, you fall apart in the playoffs or the postseason. Not every time. You look at the 72 Dolphins that went undefeated, and there's a couple other examples, but most of the time, like, I don't know, the 116-win Mariners, I can go down the list of
Patriots,
teams like that. I'm very, very interested. I think you're going to be able to tell a lot by the first series they play. That's what I think you're going to be able to tell. I know, again, that they're a top seed. They're not going to be playing the cream of the crop when it comes to the playoffs to start off there in the NHL. But if this Bruins team looks like the same Bruins team we saw during the regular season over a series of games, they're going to win the whole thing. But if they say, wow, we broke the record, an incredible regular season, what a great accomplishment. Everybody's telling us how great we're doing and this is historic and how, we're going to win the whole thing and this is the greatest season of hockey and thank God because the Red Sox are hot dog water right now. We'll see.
I think they're going to play the Islanders first round.
Came through for you last night, Islanders.
Yep, they did. They did.
Boosters.
All right, little chat. Let's go to Travis Elrod, #AskCrane Company. Will Zion Williams be the next Jamarcus Russell? No, he's already passed.
No, yeah. I mean, look, he got out of the block, so he's already beaten Jamarcus. But if you talk about like overpaying for somebody, if you start looking at the numbers, I mean, you can make some similarities. I mean, it's Jamarcus Russell drank lean. Zion just leans on the bench.
Didn't do anything in the NFL. I mean, Zion's had a good season. Right? You got
Zion's done way more than Jamarcus.
Season. I mean, he averaged 20. He averaged 28, 9, and 4.
Yeah,
and played 70 games.
No, I agree. But saying somebody's done better than Jamarcus Russell, I mean, that's we did as much as Jamarcus Russell in the NFL.
Talking about LSU athletes.
Yeah,
brought up Big Baby Davis too. What a day for LSU. Sean Pennison, if Zion turns out to have an Embiid career arc, will you call it a failure?
Look, say what you want about Joel Embiid, but that dude's played through being hurt more than just about anybody. When you watch him just move around and you're that big, I hope Zion turns it around. I would love for Zion Williamson to turn it around and have a Joel Embiid style come back after some injuries, but I just don't know if Zion's got that dog in him like that.
Joel's out there wearing the Batman.
Yeah, I don't know another way to put it. Like, I don't think Zion's got that dog in him.
Let's go to Dawn Higgins with a $50 donation.
Dawn Higgins.
Dawn, thank you.
God, we're going to Starbucks this morning, ladies.
She says, high hopes for Spartan basketball next season.
Yup.
Go green.
Tyson Walker coming back. Big shot taker, big shot maker. They're going to be playing somebody on an aircraft carrier here in a couple months anyway. But I believe Arizona and Michigan State that I saw were going to play? I think I saw that. But getting Tyson Walker back, man, you talk about just like high-level college basketball encapsulated. It's Tyson Walker, right? Guy that's not undersized but physical, makes big shots when he drives. The moment's the biggest. He's surrounded by guys that are NBA profile players. Not that Tyson can't play in the NBA, but it just hard-nosed bulldog just encapsulates what a high-level college guard is to me.
There's a couple things you don't have to worry about in life. Michigan State basketball is one of them.
That's exactly.
Tom Izzo's going to have him right. Talking about playing basketball games, South Carolina women's team and Notre Dame women's team are going to play in Paris.
Yeah, not when we're there, though.
Really?
No,
Thought you were
not
going
when
to go
we're
watch
there.
it.
Going to go watch?
I think it's great for women's basketball. No, I'm going to be too busy trying to avoid Blaine in a gondola speaking Italian because he thinks we're in Italy.
You're not going to
Wait, tell me how you said, Blaine, like when we're over in France in the honeymoon, all of a sudden I walk like and there's like water. Like, how did you come up?
Bella. I mean, bella. Spaghetti. Exactly me. The paddle.
What's that spaghetti? Yeah.
Oh, man, you reek Paris right now.
Like you say, I do every impression I do ends up being Christopher Walken. Every one you do is an Italian.
Look, I know.
That's great, I'll be honest. We've heard better in the control room.
Thank you, spectator number 3. Appreciate it.
Yes, not you, henchman arbitrarily turning wrench.
Oh, boy.
Let's go to Cody W because it equals V. Zion's 2021 season was better than Baby Davis's whole career.
Let's look at the longevity of how many years they play.
Right.
Let's look at the longevity when we get down. Who would you rather take
Did Big
right
Baby
now?
get a championship?
Who would you rather take for the amount of money that was spent on each of them? Who would you rather take? I mean, it's an honest question.
John Williams says, so LSU Shaq versus Angel Reese, and he thinks she would beat him.
I don't think Shaq really believes that. Charles Barkley, I want to see what Charles Barkley
You hear what I said? Did you hear what I said?
That's pretty good. That's not bad.
Hey,
That's not a bad Shaq.
That's pretty good. That's a lot better. Yes.
If there was any way that Shaq could have been Italian, he'd have found a way.
Big Baby Davis was on that 2008 Celtics.
Got a championship. Got a ring.
Package.
I think Brian Scalabrine was on it too.
The White Mamba?
I think he was.
First off, there will be no Brian Scalabrine slander on the show.
Look, the man's a champion.
Yeah. You don't come at the White Mamba like that.
Let's go to Travis Elrod, hashtag Ask Crane and Company. Does
Travis,
mental
not a play.
toughness matter in injury prevention and recovery?
Yeah, it's the biggest thing. It's the biggest. Look, nowadays with the therapy and you know the technology and the science, and then they mix it together that we have to fix injuries, there's not a lot that's insurmountable to come back from.
Mm-hmm.
It's the guys that typically don't come back from it. It's a mental thing. The hardest thing, like for example, after my knee surgery, the hardest part of getting over it was trusting it. Like was going out there and running full speed and cutting full speed and moving full speed. It's not that my leg isn't able to do it. It's that I have to convince my mind that my leg is fine. And once you get over that, or you get over knowing the grind or the process you're going to have to go through to get back, and you attack it, that's how you overcome it. So the mental part's bigger than the physical part to me.
Look, you're exactly right on that. I didn't know you had knee surgery.
Yeah.
Either, by the way. I know it gets, I don't want to get to a point where everything we do when we talk about these modern day athletes is, compare them to Michael Jordan and other guys like that. But I do think it was interesting to see the ways that Michael Jordan, when he was so injured, the GM and the owners of the team didn't want him to play because they wanted to save up a lottery pick to be able to, just forego the playoffs that season. And Michael Jordan's over there begging the coach to let him play more than his 10-minute max a game or something like that. Because he's like, I feel like we can make the playoffs here. And it wasn't just him. That was just a mentality, I feel like, for athletes when we were growing up that's missing a lot these days.
You think about that mentality, the difference, two guys can be talented, but the difference in greatness is what you just said. Between Michael Jordan and Zion Williamson has the athletic ability to be one of the best NBA players that we've seen in a long, long time and be a part of a team that wins championships and dominates on the reg. But the difference between him and Michael Jordan is on the inside, not the outside.
Was Scottie Pippen on that team?
No.
That
was
lost in the playoffs anyway.
That was the late 80s.
Let's go to Stephen Moore. It says, Embiid recently said that he learned how to shoot by watching white dudes shoot threes on YouTube because their form is stereotypically pure.
You got to be good at something. You're either 7 foot or shooting threes. You want to be honest. Yeah, it's not a lot of six. You know what? I'm not even going to go. Y'all know. We all know. It's no surprise. Next question.
All right, let's go to Mad Veg. He says, the point of Serena is that the number 300 male player would destroy her in a match. If you want to say she's the best women's player ever, that's fine. But sports people tried to argue this overall, and it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. We have men's and women's categories for a reason. Now, I know those are, dissolving quicker than just about anything these days. But we have men's and women's categories for a reason, because it's not fair to compare a man to a woman when it comes down to who is the best. Unless we're talking about chess or equestrian like Reed does, because the riders are athletic, but the horse is the athlete, right? The horse is the athlete.
And if you're going to make a list that compares, like, let's say you want to make your top 5 greatest athletes of all time and you wanted to have someone like Serena Williams on there, you could use the same argument that you do when we compare eras, which is, it's hard to talk about Babe Ruth against Barry Bonds, but you could say who was so far superior to their competition at the time. That is one way you could take it, is to say, hey, this female athlete was so much better than anyone else in the field that defines her greatness, even though, yes, she would not defeat maybe a younger male player who's, average today.
Yeah, and I want to make sure we say this. I don't want Reed to get upset at me. I'm not saying people that ride horses aren't athletes or athletic. What I'm saying is, I don't think it matters what gender you are when you're getting on a horse and the horse is doing the jumping. Like, it's more of a mental thing. I know it's physically, like, you got to hold on. I get it, okay? I get it. I've seen it.
It's kind of like NASCAR, isn't it?
Yes.
A little bit like NASCAR.
Yes.
Right.
I like that. We'll go with that.
Samuel.George.Franklin0384 says, heading to the RBC Heritage this morning, fellas. Praying for good weather. Let's go Finau.
Hey, can we get a shout out to the Booster Club at the RBC Heritage?
Yeah.
I love it, man. Enjoy it. I hope the weather's great too.
All right, let's go to Sister Riggs. She says she wants to know, how many games did John Stockton miss his entire career? I think it was like 17 total or something.
Yeah, and he played for like 64 years.
Back in the day, they're just built different back in the day, man.
Agreed. Different mentality.
22 games. John Stockton
How many
missed
years?
22 games in a 19-season career. 19 seasons, he missed 22 games.
That is that a record? Is that like the Cal Ripken of the NBA? Cal Ripken Jr.?
And 18 of those were the beginning of the 90s season when he tore his MCL. So,
dude, that's impressive.
So he basically missed all of his games in one season.
And just played every game for the rest of his career. That's unbelievable.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
SGB Trust Tree wants to know, can the Braves still win it all with 95% of their roster on the IL?
Done it before, baby. Ronald Acuna went down. What do? Go beat the Astros in the World Series. Here's what we have to have, all right? We have to have some guys that are able to come off injury, which they are. They're going to be fine. But I think this roster can win. And now Marcell Ozuna needs to get out of the lineup. I mean, that dude couldn't hit water if he fell out of a helicopter in the Pacific Ocean right now. He needs to get out of the lineup. We need to just keep experimenting. It's like your first 2 years of college. Just keep experimenting. You're going to figure it out. But when the staff's fully healthy, or close to fully healthy, and look, is anybody ever fully healthy? No. Nobody ever is in any sport. I'm sure something will happen to somebody big time 2, 3, 4 weeks from now, but somebody will come off. The thing is depth, and that's what I think the Braves have. I think they have enough depth to survive the injuries and try and parlay this thing to the end of the season and get into the playoffs and go make a run. And again, I mean, we're saying all this, and with the injuries and, it's tough, Braves are 9-4. They're 2 games up already in the NL East. You got the Mets at 7-6 in the second. You got the Marlins at 6-7. You got the Phillies at 4-8. God, drinking it always goes down smooth. And the Nats, who cares? Cellar dwellers. They're making peanut butter forts.
There's nothing wrong with making peanut butter forts, all right?
Yeah.
What's wrong with making peanut butter forts? It's your deal.
Just saying, man.
Disgusting. The Bro Council, what's up, brah? Says, I'm not going to lie to you guys. You better not. I wanted Zion on the Knicks. I was willing to give up Julius Randle.
Oh,
and now
God,
I think we made the right decision.
You did make the great decision. One of the few great decisions New York's made in a while. I think a lot of it's predicated off the Pelicans didn't want to let him go.
Yeah.
It's like Tommy Boy, or what is it? Tommy Boy, when he's trying to sell it with the roll. He's like, we just love Zion. We just love him and want to massage him and hold him. And then, oh my God!
All right, let's go to L4E. If James Harden won a championship, how would that change his legacy?
Huge. Look, this will shock people. I ain't got a problem with James Harden. I really don't have a problem with James Harden.
I don't have a problem with him either. I just...
Like, everybody says, oh, he doesn't play defense. Oh, he's not a great defender. Luka's not a great defender. All right. Now, James' bag is deep. Not as deep as Luka's is offensively. But, I mean, look, at least James is playing. I'll take James over Ben Simmons or Zion Williamson.
All day.
Yeah.
All day.
How about
the beard?
James Harden over Kyrie Irving, though?
Nope.
Given all
Kyrie
the facts.
Irving right now. Kyrie Irving right now?
Nope. No.
Yes.
Yeah, I want James Harden because I want fans to be in there. Kyrie's throwing all the fans out. We got to make money.
There you go.
Speaking of that, did you see where like Major League Baseball is down like so much money in beer sales because they quickened the game?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Oh, you got
Brewers,
that?
Well, I was. Yeah, something with the Brewers. The first rule change. I was going to pull that up.
Well, they're selling beer after the 8th inning now because before they're like, all right, you guys, that's enough. 7 innings of it's enough. Stop buying the beer. Y'all go home. Go home. Let's wrap this thing up and go home. Now that they got to start selling it, which it's going to be a little more fun to go to the ballpark. And I also want to say this. Last night we went to the Von Elrod's place. I totally forgot the Nashville Sounds were right across the street.
Yeah, right across the street.
Totally forgot.
Did y'all win trivia?
Huh? We did good.
Okay.
I got, I've served my purpose there. There was one sports question, got it right. They asked me if is the NFL field 60 yards wide? Man, no, it's 53 1/3 yards wide. They just moved the hashes tighter. Knew that one. And they asked the name of the dad on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Nobody knew it, except guess who? This guy, Big Rick Moranis guy.
Moranis, yeah.
Big Rick Moranis. I knew it was going to go good when they asked the question, how do you measure, and it sounded more confusing at first if you really think about it, how do you measure this distance light travels in a vacuum in 1 year? What's that called? What's the astronomical term for that?
Say it again.
What's the astronomical term for the distance that light travels in a vacuum in 1 year?
The light year.
Yes. That's exactly right.
Yes.
Like buzz.
Yes.
Light year.
Good. What? I digress.
All right, let's go to, God, I just had it. Where'd it go? All right, let's go to Reed Rickett. Archie says, I actually agree with Jake on that. Congratulations.
Hold on, stop.
Yeah?
Hold on.
Wait, repeat it.
Read that slowly again to make sure I heard.
With Jake.
No, start over again.
I actually agree with Jake on that.
For real?
Those horses are athletes usually get treated better than the riders. Chiropractic, magna wave therapy, ice boots, alignment baths, acupuncture, and massages.
Man, can I get some of that?
Jeez, can I be
these horses.
Can I be a horse?
These horses are worth more than that.
Better run fast,
people.
boy.
Yeah, like you better jump high and run fast. But like, so just to make sure I'm right, she said I agree with what I said.
Yep.
Man,
Well
you did it, man.
Hey,
she Admiral
nice job.
She Admiral Akbar in me though. Is this a trap?
I don't know.
You did it.
I don't know, man. It feels like a trap. All right. It's never a trap when Tom Lugenbill joins us. And it looks like it's a beautiful sunny day out where Tom is. So we're going to get to him in a second. I want to stay in the Booster Club for a minute. We're going to go Booster Club, Tom Lugenbill, trivia, bets, hell of a Thursday.
Cones Lawn's gnome says they're pit vipers, not pythons. Well, why don't you get off David's lawn? How about that?
I agreed.
Yeah,
I don't know who he's throwing off, but I love it.
Yeah.
Let's go to Chris Vaverka, $5 donation. He says, my older brother's leveling up today. We're big fans of the show.
Yes.
Can John get a level up shout out? Happy birthday, John.
John, congrats on
baby.
the level up, man. What level is he? What level are we, getting close to maybe fighting the first boss or first capo?
I don't know.
Into?
I don't know. Older brother. It feels like 30s.
Feels like 30s?
He's definitely collecting coins and getting the big mushrooms.
That's
like
exactly
30s
right.
to me.
You're getting ready to fight the mid boss in about 2 decades. You got to be in your bag. Speaking of being in your bag, you got to be ready for that one. All right, I'm getting ready. I've been ready. You should see my basement.
Let's go to L4E. He says, you can say that James Harden was the best offensive player for 2 to 3 years. I would agree with that.
Okay.
Now, James got to change it up with the stop, the reach in, the shoot, the step back.
The Euro's nice too.
Yeah, I mean
he'll put you on a plane and take you overseas in a second.
All right, let's go to Brian Hall with the $5 donation. Appreciate it, Brian.
Appreciate it, Brian.
AC Green only missed 8 games in his 16 years in the NBA.
That is
ridiculous.
And like this isn't the NBA now where they're like, don't touch me.
No.
Like a freedom of movement.
It was football.
Yeah, it was, hey, guess, you're going to shoot? I'm going to punch you in the face.
I don't mind the
while
freedom of
somebody
movement
punches you in the groin. Yeah. It just, man, I wish basketball was like it was back then. Like with Bill Laimbeer and them. That would have been such a fun era to be a like go to a game. Like, dude, somebody's taking it to the rack. You don't know what's going to happen. No. It's either going to be a dunk or it's going to turn into a UFC fight. I would love to see that. Now I'm just waiting to see LeBron cry about, not getting a foul because somebody looked at him wrong after 3:30 on a Wednesday.
He will.
But speaking of one guy you don't want to look at wrong after 3:30 on the Wednesday is our buddy Tom Lugenbill. All right. Tom, it's always great for you to join us. It looks beautiful outside where you're at. We're in the studio, so we can't see outside. But, man, we always appreciate you joining us.
You bet. I just heard that little nugget about AC Green. My good friend Kevin Carter, former Los Angeles Ram and Tennessee Titan. How about this one? Played 15 years in the NFL and was never not on an active roster on game day.
Wow.
That is never not on an active roster? Can he? Oh, my goodness.
Not one game in 15 years as a defensive lineman.
Boy,
can you imagine?
I bet it hurts to get up nowadays. I mean, I used to have to watch.
He looks great. I don't know. He looks good.
Man, good for him. Some guys are just built different, man. Some guys are 100% built different. But Tom, we started off the show talking about what Sark had said about Saban and how Saban, kind of saved him or resurrected his career after it had gone off the rails at USC. And I talked about how, Coach Saban is more of a people person than I think that people understand. Can you just for a second talk about maybe some interactions you've had with him? Have you gotten a behind-the-scenes look at kind of who this guy is? Because I think there is a common misconception about who he is through the lens of the media. Who'd be shocked nowadays for that to be?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I can do both on Sark and Saban. Sark and I played against each other as rival junior college quarterbacks in Southern California. I didn't know that. And so we go back a long, long way. As it relates specifically to Sark and Saban's relationship, I'm sure that Nick Saban, sat him down and tried to provide some direction and a path and maybe some sets of critical factors that needed to be met. But at the end of the day, you got to credit Steve Sarkisian for cleaning up his life. I mean, he had to make the choice, right? He's either going to do it or he's not going to do it. He's either going to be in the profession or he's not going to be in the profession. He's either going to be a husband and father or he's not going to be one. So he deserves a lot of credit for that. I think the one thing about Nick Saban that I've noticed when I've been in that building, whether it be in the off season or prior to a game, is if it doesn't have to do with winning and losing, he wants no part of it.
Yep.
Like that does not belong in that building. If it has to do with winning and losing, he is all in. What I think the misconception is about him is that he's grinding his guys into the ground continually, day to day, week to week, month to month. That's actually not true. When they work there, they are working. But he's not one of those guys that keeps his coaches there at 2 a.m. He's not one of those guys that keeps his coaches there at 11 o'clock at night. Now, there's going to be some late nights early in the week in game prep, but he's one of those guys that will take his laptop of film and his cell phone, get on the plane, go to the lake on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday in the spring, and just get away.
God, that sounds awesome, Tom. God,
I know, right? Awesome. I know.
You want to get on a plane and go to the lake with me?
Yeah, I'm at the lake right now. I just didn't use a plane to get here. So, but nice. I think the other thing too with him is you always know where you stand.
Very true.
I think that, and if you come in, if you're somebody like Steve Sarkisian or Bill O'Brien or Lane, like you will know right off the bat what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, what he wants, what he doesn't want, what you can and what you can't do, and you'll know what the structure is, and everybody is either in or out. And see, that's the interesting thing that a lot of people may not realize about Tommy Reese in the offensive coordinator position at Alabama. It's not going to be Tommy Reese's offense, all right? It's Alabama's offense. Whoever was getting hired was not coming in to run their scheme, was not coming in to run their philosophy. They were coming in to run the Alabama offense, which can make it difficult to make hires sometimes, right? But it was kind of it worked because he's a young guy who hasn't really established yet what he's going to be from a philosophical identity. So you get a guy at that age who's had some success as a play caller, wants to run the football, loves to utilize the tight ends, and now you ask him to kind of conform to what you're doing. What's that guy going to say? No.
Yeah.
I mean that it's kind of a neat fit.
Yeah, and it's a career maker for him. It's a win-win for both parties.
Sure.
You can mold the offensive coordinator to do what you want him to do, and he realizes that it's helping him throughout his career. Tom, I can't believe we're going to talk about this next thing, and nothing as I've seen has been concrete. But the Pac-12 is literally in discussion with the CW, okay, to air games. So do you mean to tell me that, hey, right after USC plays Oregon, make sure you catch Supernatural on the CW? Like, is it?
And Charmed.
And Charmed. That's great. I can't wait. It's
Buffy.
It's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's exactly right.
Great show.
But when you look at it, it's almost sad because from a depth standpoint in the league, from a talent standpoint in the league, from an exposure standpoint, and potential championship, even appearance standpoint, this looks like the best shot the Pac-12 has had in a long time with the amount of good teams that are returning not only personnel outside of the pocket, but at quarterback as well in a year of college football where all the top dogs are having to replace their quarterback. And while the SEC and the Big Ten, all these places, and even we've seen some nice moves by the Big 12, y'all are over here talking to the CW. Why don't y'all just go talk to Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network while you're at it? Why is the Pac-12 the Steven Glansberg of all the Power 5 conferences?
Well, first of all, think about it from this perspective. The CW would be a vast improvement over the Pac-12 network, which nobody had.
That's exactly
Nobody
right.
could view. You couldn't watch a single game. At least you could now go on a guide, whether it's Dish or DirecTV or YouTube TV or whatever, and find the CW and find a Pac-12 game. So there's the silver lining if you're George Kliavkoff. But listen, unless obviously, I think where this is all going, and I'm a little surprised with the Pac-12 that this isn't happening with somebody, is I think this is all going to streaming services eventually. Everybody.
Yeah.
Right? At some point, Ted Sarandos at Netflix, Tim Cook at Apple, Jeff Bezos at Amazon, which they've already done a little bit with the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Sooner or later, they're going to put their toe in the water and they're going to say, you know what? We want the rights to this. We want the exclusive rights to this. And I'm really surprised that hasn't happened for the Pac-12 to kind of kick something off and be the first and have it be a marquee, attention-grabbing type thing. I think that's coming eventually. I'm just surprised that that's not where the main, and maybe it was the main target, and maybe nobody wanted them, or maybe some of the streaming services weren't ready to jump in, whether it's Hulu or whoever it may be. But the CW is an improvement over the Pac-12 network. Now, I'm not saying that that's the end-all, be-all of where they ultimately need to and want to be, but at least their games will be watchable on a nationwide platform. I think that's the thing that was so disheartening about the Pac-12 network and the conference in and of itself is unless you were on Fox, ABC, or ESPN on a select 1 to 2 games a weekend, you were non-existent to your fan bases.
Yeah, it's like the Pac-12 went to ESPN, like Kenny Powers to Jackie Schaefer, and said, listen, I'll do an appearance inside the thing, inside the car dealership, and it's only going to cost you $2,000. What does he look at him and say?
I'm gonna give you $100.
I'm gonna give you $100.
I'm gonna give you $100.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Well, let's stay in the Pac-12. Tom,
feel it in my plums.
Let the juice spill down.
Oh, that's what I need.
Who are you? Purplish hue. Purplish hue.
If you watch
I said let him watch.
Yeah. That's the heat.
Please keep going, man.
I love it.
Let's stay in the Pac-12.
They're coming out with a new season, Tom. New season.
Shut up.
Swear to God.
No.
Yep.
They're bringing him back.
They're bringing it back, baby.
I feel I can make a fair argument that the first season, it was 6 episodes, 30 minutes per episode.
Yeah, fake that
might
face
have
at
been the best comedic television ever put on TV, regardless of network.
I've never laughed as hard as when Stevie Janowski's my favorite character of all time in anything ever.
Stevie Janowski.
Hippo, Kenny. All right,
This is
question.
La Palma Blanca, baby.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're going, man. We're going. You remember he convinces him that he was the driver? It's like, you were driving.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, I'll do
Are you
anything
my
you want,
assistant?
Kenny. Anything at all. All right. Oh, God. So great.
Oh,
you even remember your
Pac-12. Pac-12. I do remember it. Cliff Kingsbury is back from Thailand.
Yeah.
Okay, he's going to join Lincoln Riley's staff at Southern Cal. We had a lengthy discussion this week about how, hey, look, Lincoln Riley's already calling the offense. Scoring points isn't the problem over there. They have the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. They need to get better on defense. But I was saying it's still a great flex. This takes USC back to the Pete Carroll days. Hey, we can get a former NFL head coach to basically come be quality control here. What kind of an impact will Cliff Kingsbury's hiring have at Southern California?
I think it will be a day-to-day meeting room impact in the sense that when the head coach, who has a vast array of responsibilities throughout the day that nobody even fathoms, right? They see the coach on the practice field and they see the coach on the sideline during the game. All of the different things that the head coach has to do, he can't be everywhere at once. So you get a trusted guy who's been a colleague, who's come from the same system. I do think there was some overlap there at Texas Tech. In fact, I know there was. So obviously there's familiarity and there's trust. He knows that if he's got to leave the building, he's got to leave the room, he's got to go attend to something else. He's got somebody that's going to coach the quarterback in the manner in which he would want to coach the quarterback, in the way he wants the information relayed in the room. It does bring clout. It does bring, I think, an air of credibility, particularly not just with the current guys in the room, but depending on, because let's face it, Cliff Kingsbury was not a successful college coach, right? And he's a successful offensive college coach, but was not a successful head coach. And so he's obviously independently wealthy now. What will the opportunities be down the road if he wants to coordinate, wants to be the head coach again at some point? Well, let's just say that's 2 to 3 years down the road. Now you've brought credibility to the recruiting stage as well. Because from a quarterback perspective, you've got Lincoln Riley, you've got this tried and true offense in college football. Now you've got Cliff Kingsbury, who's coached Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Davis Webb. I mean, there's all these guys that I think really helps and brings some credibility. So I like it. I think it's a good move, but more importantly, it's a good move behind the scenes for Lincoln when he's got to attend to some other things that are going to be very, very important for the growth of that program.
Yeah, I agree. And game planning too.
Yeah, I believe. And I think I saw Josh Pate put that. I can't remember if he put it out or not. I believe Lincoln Riley and Cliff Kingsbury together have coached 4 of the last 9 Heisman winners.
Wow.
That's
there
ridiculous.
You go.
Yeah.
There you
Get
go.
something in Thailand, surprise Cliff.
Yeah.
You see how it works.
Yeah. Maybe it's a cocaine hippo.
Yeah, who knows? Something like that. Let's go to L4E, Tom. We're going to get the Booster Club real quick. He says, Tom, that we know that Saban has some more years to go before he retires. Who are your candidates to take that job, and who wouldn't run from the pressure of being the next Alabama football coach?
Oh, my goodness. Who would be some candidates to take that job? Depending on the success level over the next 2 to 3 years, if it's high, I could see Mario Cristobal being somebody that would be considered there just from the discipline perspective, the process perspective. But he's going to have to win. He's going to have to flip that thing around at Miami really quickly. I don't think Dabo Swinney has any interest, not an ounce of interest in it. Doesn't need to. So I think you can scratch that name right off the list.
Lane, I don't think Nick's going to leave it to Lane. You don't go from running it like a military to a frat house.
Right, exactly. And you know what that leaves us with? It may leave us with a candidate that we're not aware of yet, right? It may leave us with maybe a younger guy. I mean, what if Sark starts winning big? All right, he could be an ideal candidate there, right? But maybe again, it's an assistant that we don't know about yet. Maybe it's a guy comes out of the NFL and has some success at a place where he's a head coach, but he's got a pro personnel and an NFL model as far as his background's concerned. But that will be interesting because I think if you would have asked this question 5-6 years ago, you could have said, okay, well, maybe Jimbo would be in on that. Nope, he's not going to be in on that. What if Luke Fickell has tremendous success at Wisconsin? I could see him being a fit there just with his personality and his no-nonsense demeanor, tough, physical, disciplined. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch that unfold. I mean, it really, really is.
I got a name for you, Tom. Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien.
Wouldn't surprise me at all. The question with Bill is, in today's college football climate, the way things are being run, it is running coaches to the NFL at a rapid pace. Nobody wants to coach college football anymore
because it's turning into the NFL. You might as well go to the show if you're going to be treated like you have to be at the show.
And at least in the NFL, you have rules to all of what's going on. I think it would come down for a Bill O'Brien or somebody like that in professional football. Do you want to get involved in the recruiting game to the level that you would have to be successful and deal with all the auxiliary BS, all right, that we have now in college football that's taking so much of the fun out of it, right? You're going to be getting fired more rapidly than you ever have before, all right? And I just don't know. People will have to weigh getting out of professional football to go back to college football and decide, do they want to deal with all this nonsense?
Yeah, I think it can best be summed up. The coaches are losing control. And when you lose control, just like in anything in life, it makes you nervous. There's actually more control right now in the NFL than there is in college football. Last one for our buddy Lugs.
Go to Texas Ed. He wants to know, is the XFL different enough from the NFL this time to last more than 1 year and 2 seasons? The attendance and the ratings seem to be more consistent.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Because I'm now an XFL lifer. And I'm a 3-time participant, once as a coach and twice as a broadcaster. If I take you back to 2001, the league was not the problem. The product on the field was not the problem. The presentation on TV was the problem, right? That's why the 2001 iteration did not work. The actual on-field product and the in-game experience was awesome. And I mean awesome. It was like an arena football game at the height of arena football outdoors in a big stadium. Yep. It was so much fun, right? But they screwed up the presentation. Fast forward to 2020, and I got to give our company some credit. We really crushed, I think, the presentation of ensuring that it's legitimate football with backing and put it this way, the Monday Night Football graphics that were used that fall actually premiered in the XFL that spring. So, everything was top class. It was legit. If the pandemic hadn't happened, it would still be going on and probably would have expanded to a couple other cities. Now, fast forward to 2023, Dwayne Johnson, Danny Garcia, the whole group has really invested their personal time, like their own personal time, to ensure that this thing works. And it's working, and it's going to continue to work. I think the rules are fabulous. The pace of play has been really good. The games, as you've gone on each and every week, have gotten better and better and better. We've had a 36-37 game. We just had, I think, a 34-33 game. We had our first 2 overtime games of the season last weekend. And again, this is a 10-game season with no preseason games. These teams go from 4.5 to 5 weeks of camp, and they get right into the season. So, yeah, I'm excited about it going forward. I think it's going to be fantastic. What I'd like to continue to see, because DC did a really good job. They play in an MLS stadium, right? And it seats 22,000 people. That's where the Beer Snake is, and those fans are rabid, right? They care more about that team than they care about the Commanders.
Yeah.
And if they're going to look at expansion, I would really, my 2 cents would be, go find some cities that have an MLS team and put your product in that stadium, because you're not going to have to fill a 75,000 seat Citrus Bowl, right? You can fill 22,000 in a soccer stadium. They're right on top of you. Mm-hmm. Great atmosphere. It looks great on TV. It's great in person. So places like Salt Lake City would be in my opinion, another great option. So I'm pumped about it, man. I've had a blast. We got 2 more weeks. It's gone fast. I hope it's here to stay. I think it will be. And then if they can expand and continue to move forward, I hope I'm doing it for years to come.
Definitely. Well, Tom, it's always great to have you on, my friend, whether it's the XFL, whether it's ESPN, whether it's the UC Report, Under Armour All-American Game, Tom Lugenbill.
Kenny Powers
as well. Unbelievable. By the way, I don't know if you can hear this. I just want to play this.
Clearly don't understand the employer-employee relationship.
I guess I'm starting to, and I don't like it.
There we go. Buddy Stevie Janowski. That's when they're out there playing baseball, remember?
Hey. I've made my pumpkin margaritas in honor of fall.
There we go. Yes.
That's right.
Good.
Right? Hey, do you guys watch The Righteous Gemstones?
I haven't seen it yet.
No, I haven't seen it
yet.
Dude,
But anything with Danny McBride in, I'm going to give a shot. And then they got old boy from Workaholics in there, right?
It's fantastic.
I
It
bet
is
it is.
absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, check that. It's way better than Vice Principals was.
Okay.
Way better.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, Lugs, appreciate it, buddy. It's always fun.
All right, guys. Take care.
Hey, Tom.
All right, Tom Lugenbill. Let's go to trivia real quick.
Trivia.
Let's go trivia real quick.
PJ.
PJ, you got some NBA trivia back there, I heard? Rumor has
Yes,
it?
we do.
Okay.
We're going to have a minute, and I have 2 questions. So buckle up.
Great.
I'm buckled.
All right. The first question, and then I'll start the timer. Which NBA player was the first to win 2 NBA Finals MVP awards? And the timer starts now.
Wilt Chamberlain was for Bill Russell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be Wilt, right?
That feels too easy.
I feel like that's too
Or
easy.
Kareem.
To win 2 NBA Finals MVPs?
Yes.
Do we have a minute to answer both of these or a minute each?
I was going to do a minute for both, but you
What's
guys
the
are
second
doing worse
question?
than I thought.
What's the second question?
In the 1996 NBA Western semifinals between Seattle Supersonics and Houston Rockets, Sonics set a new NBA record for most three-pointers in a playoff game. How many did they make?
They hit
4 minutes in a playoff game.
24.
Close, but no.
I'd go first one. Feels like Kareem.
No.
Kareem? No.
Wilt.
No.
Yes.
George Gervin.
No.
Bill Russell.
Second one's, I don't know, 20.
Larry Bird. Magic Johnson.
Yeah. Robert Naismith. I don't know, the guy who played basketball.
Yeah, it's just
I'll give you four options. I thought you guys would be better. Next time I'll give you 2 minutes. So Wilt Chamberlain, Michael Jordan, Willis Reed, or Larry Bird.
Was it Willis Reed?
Well, maybe it's, when did the MVP start being given out? Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
we're just
I think
assuming
that was
that
the
they've
problem.
always had that award.
That's
This
exactly
is a trick
right.
question from PJ.
It is.
It is not.
You always.
Who was it?
So maybe Larry Bird then.
Willis Reed won his first NBA Finals MVP award in 1970 and his second in 1973, playing for the New York Knicks both times.
Yep.
How many threes?
Willis Reed, R.I.P.
And 20 free threes.
20 threes?
Oh, 20. Yeah, 20.
I feel like the Warriors hit more.
I think Clay made that by himself.
That was good, PJ. That was tough.
Not bad.
That was tough. All right, Blaine, questions while I go to the Booster Club, Booster Board.
Yeah, let me get to Max Irwin. I missed a donation earlier. He says, asked if you guys were going as a $5 donation. Appreciate it, Max. Says, asked you guys are going to review the Ohio State football team with the spring game being this Saturday.
Yep.
Yes. Tomorrow. We're going to do, we're each going to pick a team for tomorrow like we've been doing in our spring tour. Ohio State is going to be one of them. What else we got, Blee?
L4E, who has a higher ceiling, Bryce Young or CJ Stroud?
Bryce Young.
Coney?
CJ Stroud.
I love that. I love that answer from you. Let's go to Steve. Oh, Stephen Moore there, man. Appreciate it. Texas said, is the XFL designed to survive because it's different enough from the... Oh, no, I already read that. Great.
All right, let's get to bed.
Yeah, let's get to
Here's
bed.
what
There's
I
a lot
got
in here.
Here's what I got. LSU money line, A&M money line in college baseball. I believe LSU has Kentucky at home. A&M has Missouri at home. Give me them at plus 141. Then I'm going to take the Pirates, Cardinals, Nerfy. I've got Jordan Montgomery on my fantasy team. You go out there and shove, my friend. That's at minus 105.
Tampa Bay Rays. Going to tie the record. I got a money line. But just to get my odds under the 200 cap, I'm also going to take them over 2.5 runs tonight. That's minus 175. And then the Boston Bruins. Hey, I'm just going to stick with all the best teams right here. Boston Bruins,
great strategy.
minus a goal and a half. That's minus 115.
All right, give me the Orioles minus 1.5, minus 130. You know why? Because they're playing the A's. And then give me the Rays minus 1.5, minus 110. I'm going to hop on the train.
All right, Ace Cone. He's going to go Maple Leafs money line at plus 105 and the Canes money line at plus 100. All right, Poll,
what would you rather fight? A cocaine hippo? A cocaine bear? Did you see the poll today?
No.
Okay. A cocaine lion? What would you rather fight?
I'm going to say this. I mean, there's just no good answer here. I'm going to say they went hippo. I'm going to say they said cocaine hippo because you don't think of a hippo as being as dangerous or a lion as a bear off the hoof. That's why the hippo is the most dangerous, because they trick you and then rip your limbs off like you're Mr. Potato Head. So give me the hippo. 39%.
40%.
Hippo?
Yeah.
Cocaine lion, 27%. Cocaine bear, 40%. Cocaine hippo, 33%.
Ooh, they went bear, huh? They want to fight. They really want to fight a bear and
I don't like
find out.
calling people dumb, but that is dumb.
They want to fight a bear and find out.
I mean, there's just no good. There's no win there.
There is no win.
Like, does a lion win? Oh, good. Now I get the cocaine lion. Oh, that's scary as hell.
All right, let's go to Crafty Cat. He says, do you think athletes are more prone to injuries due to starting sports younger?
No. I mean, I wouldn't say starting sports younger. I mean, if you're talking about playing tackle football when they're 3 years old or something, that's a different story. But just in general, no, I think a lot of it, you got to catch breaks. Let's be honest with you. Let's be honest. I mean, you got to have some luck to be able to play for a while. That's baked in. But the way you take care of your body, understanding how much exertion is enough exertion and how flexible you are, man. Like I said, if I could go back and change one thing, I would stretch more. That would be my advice to any kid out to stretch. You don't think about it. It's not the most fun thing to do. It's not the first thing you think about when you think about sports. But just like, running is important to stay in shape, stretching is important to be able to play, to be available. Wish Zion would stretch more.
Let's go to Steve Action Figures Frenzy. He says Luke Fickell's a Big Ten guy. Bama would never accept him.
I don't know if it would be about Bama accepting. I don't think Luke Fickell would want to come down here for that.
I remember Nick Saban coaching at Michigan State.
Yeah, that's true.
Before LSU took a chance on him.
Can you imagine if Sark did somehow go to Bama? And Sark has been the head coach at USC, Texas, and Bama? That's a... Doesn't get bigger. What's next? Notre Dame?
Yeah.
That's Notre Dame.
All right, let's go to Quade Akins. He says, with 4 points tonight, McDavid will be the third player in NHL history with over 155 points.
Where do we rank Connor McDavid? Like are we talking top? Can you make a case for top 5 over the last 15 to 20
I don't know, because my hockey history is not as strong as
it's just his speed with the puck is so incredible.
You know it's him. If you took off the jersey, you know it's him skating.
Yeah, I mean, he's like Benny the Jet from Sandlot, but on knives.
What seed are they right now? Let's see, the Oilers.
Is he the Tyreek Hill of the NHL?
They're second in Pacific. Man, Vegas won that.
But is Tyreek Hill not a great comp though? Like when Tyreek Hill runs, I'm like, that's the fastest guy in the league.
Yeah.
Like it just looks different. Like it's just like, wait a minute. It's like he's cheating. Like I see Connor McDavid skate, and I just feel like Gordon Bombay.
Quack.
Yeah. Just wouldn't see him stop with some cans like right there. All right, couple more. We're gonna wrap this baby up.
Let's go to Matty Ice 1994. Are my Kings going to be lightning beam this Saturday night? I don't know. We'll see. They got the Warriors.
Did he say
Kings basketball?
Basketball or hockey?
Basketball. It's Matty Ice. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought he said playing the Lightning, though. My fault.
Are going to be the lightning beam.
Oh, gotcha. I hope, man. That'd be a great story. I know the NBA is hoping like hell that's not the case. I mean, they want LeBron Giannis or LeBron Jason Tatum. Make no mistake. But can you imagine like the Kings are playing like it's like you look up, it's like the Kings versus the Cavs in the NBA Finals. Oh, couldn't happen to a better group of people.
All right, let's go to J Chain. Says, glad to see the Lugs wearing Under Armour. That's my go-to also. Yeah, me too.
I don't hate Under Armour. I don't love that Auburn's Under Armour. I don't think in the span of, the best brands that there are as like an elite university that needs to be the move. But again, Nike's gone just absolutely crazy. I also don't want Dylan Mulvaney just running around Toomer's Corner.
Who cares what you want? That's what's going to happen.
That's what it's going to be. And we need you to subscribe. Make sure you share the show. Follow us on all social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, all the other ones that they're taking our information from. So make sure you follow us on those. We have call-ins tomorrow. Excited about that. Appreciate Lugs coming on. Got some big-time interviews as well. And like the chances of Connor McDavid not being the fastest skater in the NHL, we're going, gone.